Joining me right now is a witness there inside that cinema, Paul Odermatt. Paul, thank you for being with us.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And Paul, I've got to tell you, I've never heard of anything like this in our country anyway. What happened? What did you observe?
Okay, so I was in the front left side of the theater, about 3 rows back, but in the bottom area. He came in on the right-hand side, also in the front. There was an emergency exit there. There wasn't an emergency exit in the front on the left, but there was one behind us. So he comes in, and he was wearing black gear with bulletproof vest and gas mask and that sort of thing. And he came through the door, and for a second I thought I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't know if it was a weird publicity stunt or something like that, but then he threw a can of tear gas. I immediately felt the burning in my eyes. As soon as the gas started being released, it didn't even reach me, but I could feel the tingle. Then he shot into the center of the crowd, and then fired a couple more shots. And by that time, we had ducked down to the floor, me and my girlfriend, who was seeing the movie with me. We crawled out to the exit on the left, just behind us. The people on the upper levels had to climb down over that area to get around, so they took a while to get out. But we got out right away, and we ran through the lobby, and we heard 4 or 5 more shots while we were running through the lobby. When we got outside, we met up with somebody who was right in front of the door. This man named Isaac, and he was separated from his group, and he thought somebody in his group got shot. So we took him over to the Buckley Air Force Base, which was nearby there, and we dropped him off. And my girlfriend dropped her phone during the scramble out of the initial theater, and a man following us out. He was just up there in the upper level, but just right near that exit as well. He was able to get out right after us. He thought it was his wife's phone. He picked that up, and he returned that to us today. And his name was Evan. He was a very nice man.
With me is Paul Odermatt, who was there in the cinema when the shooting broke out. Paul, a lot of people seem to think that this was some sort of stunt, but it was only when the tear gas was emitted that you believed it was no stunt. What happened with the crowd?
Yeah.
When did they realize what was happening, and what did they do?
Well, first it kind of went silent when he was throwing the tear gas, but when he started firing shots into the crowd, there was just a lot of screaming in this area and everybody ducking to the ground and trying to get out. The person who picked up our cell phone said that when he was leaving, right after he picked up the cell phone, the people behind him got shot. So he was trying to shoot the exits after a little while. He just started shooting into the crowd at the start, but he was trying to shoot at the exits as well.
So he was shooting at people that were trying to flee?
Yes, he was.
Was he saying anything, Paul?
He didn't say a word. No, he walked in kind of casually. From what I've heard from the police reports, he got a ticket, he came in, and then he left through that emergency exit door and came back through it all armed and to the teeth. But when he entered in with all of his guns, he just casually walked up, cracked the tear gas, threw it, and started aiming his gun. And it was...
Paul, was it at any particular moment in the movie? For instance, was it at a moment when there was gunfire or pyrotechnics of some sort in the movie?
No, not for us. We were at the 9:05 showing. That was Theater 9. Oh, 12:05 showing at the Theater 9. But Theater 8 was a little bit further in the movie. They were about 5 minutes ahead of us.
Right. Paul,
And
did you ever think you could
they
die?
They were doing gunfire at that time, but we were not. It was just a talk between Bruce Wayne and Alfred.